Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everybody. I hope that you are all in a good condition. So today's meeting is about strategies for reading. So we are going to discuss about some strategies in reading, especially in reading text. For example, reading an article or a journal. So here we go. There are 4 strategies in reading. The first one is predicting content. The second one is skimming. The third one is scanning. And the fourth one is reading for detail or intensive reading. Predicting the content, like the title, so we have to predict or guessing by looking from the headline, for example, and then for the subheading or subheadline, or maybe by seeing the pictures. We can see here, to familiarize yourself with the text, it is a good idea to make prediction by looking at pictures and headings before you start to read. Think about the following questions before you read a text. So it's better when you want to start reading a text, you give some question for yourself, like what do the pictures show? You can look at the pictures from your reading text or from the articles. And then what do the headings and subheadings tell you? What the topic might the article be about? And the last one is, what do you already know about this topic? So you have to do some guessings or predicting by the content of the article that you read. And then skimming. Skimming is one of strategies that we often use. Maybe you realize or not, but I think that all of you usually use skimming in reading. Not only reading an article, but also reading a novel, for example, or maybe reading another text. Skimming involves reading quickly to get the main idea of a text. Reading topic sentences, usually the first sentence of a paragraph, can be an effective way of understanding the main idea of the text. So in skimming, we have to get the main idea of a text. The main idea usually we can find in the first sentence of a paragraph, but it also can be in the last sentence. Sometimes in the middle of the sentence, but it's rare. Okay, so you have to get the attention in the first sentence or in the last sentence. Okay, so I'll repeat it once again. In skimming, you have to get the main idea quickly. Okay, and you can find the main idea of the text in the first sentence or in the last sentence. Okay, so you have to get, to pay attention on the first sentence first. Okay. If you think that the first sentence is not the main idea, so you can move to the last sentence. Okay, so if it is not in the first sentence, so it may be in the last sentence. Do you get the point? Okay, we'll move to the third strategy. The third strategy is scanning. Like skimming, scanning also usually used by us. I think that in your daily, everyone has been doing a scanning. Do you ever seen a scanner works? Nah, scanning, we do a scanning like a scanner's doing. Okay, so it's slower than skimming. Scanning involves searching for numbers, symbols, and long words in a text. This is a useful way of locating answers in reading exams. You can scan the text for words or numbers from the questions, so it's more details than skimming. Not only about the main idea, but also the details information. Okay? And the last one, and also the difficult one, is about reading for detail or intensive reading. Maybe some of you has taken a TOEFL test. Now, reading for detail or intensive reading test is like you are doing a TOEFL test. Okay? We use this skill when we need to understand every word in a part of a text. This may be used when we answer detailed reading questions in examination like TOEFL or IELTS. Okay, so we need read a detailed information, a very detailed information. Sometimes it's about a synonym or reference. Okay, so we need to read every single details of a text. But in our learning, we will focus on skimming and also scanning. Okay, so don't worry. Now, what is the differences between skimming and also scanning? Skimming versus scanning. Skimming is a fast reading, and then getting the main idea, not all details, just the main idea that usually you can find in the first sentence or in the last sentence. Must leave out parts, may leave out a half or 3 or 4 paragraphs once you have the main idea of the paragraph. Because you have to read quickly, yeah, so not the whole of the text you have to read, but in some sentences. Or maybe if you get the main idea, so you might leave out the rest of the text. And then comprehension is lower. Try to comprehend as much as you can while reading at an average speed. Comprehend 50% of what you are reading, twice as fast, usually done with material you know nothing about. Note as speed increases, comprehension decreases, because you're just looking for an information that you need, not in single information details. Okay? While scanning is a reading technique used when you want to look at a single fact or specific bit of information without reading every word. But you have to read the whole of the paragraphs. Okay, not only getting the main ideas, but you have to read the whole of the paragraphs. The second one, for example, scan TV listing in paper to find time or so. It's an example of scanning, yeah. So we know about the show or the performance that will be scheduled on a television program. Then the next point, directory when you want to see a show. Fast way to find information must be more accurate in terms of finding a specific television show or film, often done with material that you know something about. Okay, so scanning is more detailed than skimming. The comprehension also more better than skimming. Okay, and then if some tips, there are some tips for skimming. The first one is reading the first several paragraphs. This will help you to identify the topic of the article, the subject, a little of the author's style, the author's viewpoint, and so on. Leave nothing out, but read at your top speed. Authors usually give an intro in the first few paragraphs. This helps get an overall picture of the article. The second one is leaving out materials. So once you have a general overview of the article, you should begin to leave out material right away. So by the fourth and fifth paragraph, you may read only the key sentences to get a main idea, and then you have to skip the rest of the paragraph. Okay, so you just need to get the main ideas and then leave the rest of the paragraphs that you don't need the information. Okay, and then let your eyes jump ahead, picking up one or two important words, phrases, or numbers. The third is finding the main ideas. Trying to get the main idea of every paragraph plus a few facts that we need, okay, according the information that we need. You will not get all the facts, but you may get some. Sometimes the main idea is not the first sentence, sometimes it's in the middle or the end of the paragraph. This may take extra time to find, okay? But the first thing that you have to need is getting the main idea by reading the first or the last sentence. But if you can find the main ideas in the first or the last sentence, it may be in the middle. Okay. Some paragraphs may not have a main idea, so you need to take a conclusion of a paragraph. And the last one is the final paragraphs often summarize the story or article, so they may be worthwhile to read more fully. And then the fourth tips for skimming is reading fast. The purpose is to get the author's main idea at a very fast speed. Don't get too caught up in details. Yeah, so in skimming, we don't need read the whole of paragraph, and we don't need read all the information in a text. And then the tips for scanning. The first one is noting the arrangement of information, like alphabetical, non-alphabetical, and then cross look at title, subtitle, illustration. Once know general organization, easier to understand. Second, keep clue words in mind. When you find the section most likely to contain the information, you are ready to begin scanning. Example, telephone directory, clue word is last 9. And then looking for baseball scores, clue word is baseball. So you have to looking for the keywords. Okay. The third, scanning quickly. The purpose is to locate info quickly. A high rate of speed is essential. With a clue word in mind, try to scan as much of the printed matter as you can in the least amount of time. Don't get distracted by unrelated words of information. If you find yourself beginning to read words or paragraphs, stop reading. Then begin to move your eyes in a scanning pattern. Read more carefully once you find the clue words. Oh yeah, in scanning, we don't need to move our head, okay? Just our eyes. To the left, to the right, and then to the left, okay? Just the eyes, not moving the head, okay? So you can read quickly. It's a scanning. The fourth, make accuracy your goal. Accuracy is just as important as speed. Need specific information. Once found information, you need to check that you are correct. High speed is only useful if you find the exact info you need. Goal 100% accuracy. Okay, I think it's enough about the materials, about the reading strategies. If you have any questions, so please let me know. Good luck, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.